Hello guys, it's Christian from Emotions in Wine. As you see, today we go big. Finally, a top wine. If you are interested in the Nebbiolo introduction, the link is below in the description. It was a few videos ago about the Nebbiolo in general. Today the focus is only one, Barolo. So Barolo villages, the area, and then of course the wine that we are tasting. So Massolino Barolo Parafada 2014. 14 alcohol. This is the protagonist today. I know it's one of the most prestigious wineries. I never tried this crew, which is quite tiny, and not many wineries. I even tried to Google, but I didn't find many producing it. So it must be really limited. That's why I didn't know about it. It's not the most famous crew, but according also to Massolino, is one of their most interesting, also because they have old vines. This is the oldest vines that they have in Massolino, between all the vineyards, about 50-60 years. So, Barolo, the king of the wines, the most prestigious Nebbiolo version, the biggest competitor of Pinot Noir for that kind of style, even if of course Nebbiolo is different grape, much more tannic than Pinot Noir, giving richest, the more age-worthy wines of all the Nebbiolos, and that's why I wanted to do a separate chapter, of course, and I picked something relevant. Of course, it's not the mega iconic wines, but it's still one of the top. In their village, they are one of the top two, for sure, and I would say, as I know, even in the whole of Barolo, they are one of the top 10. So, for sure, it's a good example. And I picked Serralunga d'Alba. So there are 11 communes in total, but 5 are the main. So Barolo, of course, that gives the name. Then you have La Morra on the west, north, you can see. There is Castiglione Falletto, a bit on the northeast, Serralunga d'Alba east, and Monforte d'Alba south. So these are the 5 main, and they are basically divided in 2 sections. The ridges coming down north-south, more or less, but 2 sections. So older soils on the eastern side, so Serralunga area, younger soils on the other side. Altitudes vary, soils vary a bit. Exposure, not really, because majority is south, southeast, southwest, so they are quite similar. So the major differences are about the soils and the altitudes. Then there is the other point, especially in the last 20-30 years, the distinction between traditionalists and modernists. This is more an Italian thing. I guess many foreigners don't know much. The traditional means big Slavonian casks, longer maceration, so since contact, while modernist, Elio Altare was one of the first famous who started, was barrique, shorter maceration, so more Burgundy style winemaking, and that of course added to the differences. So you can in a way see the differences of the terroirs, but of course there is the hand of the winemaker, inevitable, even more with these things. You can distinguish a bit the barrique or the big cask that he used for many years, so much less spiciness, but there are a series of ingredients in the final recipe, so all contribute, and now there is also the warming in general, so making the tannins a bit more gentle. Otherwise the tannic structure is very important. That's why the longevity, also supported by the high acidity, is very long. So all these characteristics are very relevant. We can say that the western side, La Morra in particular, La Morra is very high actually, but many vineyards are at 250-300 meters, but they are more marly soils. Marly is also softer rock, has component of clay and minerals, etc. So they tend to give more smooth wines with the due perspective. We are still talking about powerful, full body wines, but of course they're a bit more gentle. Then majority of the modernists are in that area too, so they gave a further touch in the direction, because shorter maceration is less extraction. Barrique can make the wine smoother faster, so then it's easier to have Barolos that can be drunk in the first 7-8 years, even less in some cases, in that area. While in particular Serralunga d'Alba, so the one I picked, is the exact opposite. The most austere wines are from Serralunga. Many of the top names are there, so Cascina Francia, so Monfortino, so Conterno, Giacosa and others. Is small relatively, even the village. Majority of the crews are smaller. Is the most calcareous soil of all, so that's why the main reason of the austerity, but also the altitude. Most of the vineyards are about 300 meters. On top of that, as I know, almost everyone there, I don't know all of them of course, but the huge majority do the traditional style, so big Slavonian casks, longer maceration, longer aging, wines that have huge finesse and complexity and that need a lot of time. You may think austerity should mean less finesse, but it's not true. Limestone is giving more finesse, that's it. But of course needs more time. That tannic and also the acidity is a bit higher in general there, so they need more time. But the elegance, the complexity that they have is outstanding. Is my preferred area. That's why also I picked it, and I'm happy I found this. Actually worth about 60 euros in Italy. So the bottle is open as usual, just a bit. I will do the next day tasting, so in the end you will see that part. It's very important for this kind of wine. So as I said, the Massolino, historical, 1896 they started. This vineyard is marly calcareous, so marly limestone, so I said more limestone, but still a bit of that marl on top. Is an amphitheater, as you can see, shaped very small. They have a good portion of it. There are very few others making it, and they do it traditionally. So big cask, low maceration. Of course, it's wines that need time. The 14 vintage was not outstanding, but not bad. More elegant, less power in a way, we can say. So should be drinking quite well now. Historical family there. They are owning a lot of Vigna Rionda, which is the most famous, more than Francia vineyard. Vigna Rionda is considered the best in Serralunga. Many are trying to grab a piece, and they built it, so there was a good vision in the ancestors. Now is the 4th generation or 5th. They built over time a decent size of Vigna Rionda. It's their top wine. They do even the Riserva in the best vintages. And this one is one of the closest to their heart, as I said, because of the age. So this is giving something more. Age of the vines for me is always fundamental. In tough times, you can still have a better result, and the natural low yields and the deep-rooted plants give you something more layers, more complexity. That I'm always remarking. So that was also one of the parameters in my picking. First of all, the color, classic, not that deep, already with the Garnier rim, quite common, but still not at all that brick color that is when the age is much longer. Still not showing a lot, but already a bit. Very little fruit so far. It's more on some of the classic notes that they have there. Some, a touch of flora, but more herbal, earthy, just a hint so far. Yeah, still very close. At the first impression, not showing much. Of course, this is a drinking window period, I would say, for this kind of wines. But of course, it's just the beginning, so they need time. As I tell you always, I don't like the decanting. I prefer to see the evolution over time, and then doing the next day tasting, I give you much more perspective of the wine. Yeah, it's good balance. Nice freshness, minerality. The tannin is not that firm anymore. It's still relevant. You feel it, but it's getting a bit more gentle. You still have that side of the wine more relevant, so freshness and tannic structure and minerality, but also sort of sweet fruit. This wine is always highly rated, even up to 95, 96 in the best vintages, not this one. So it's really considered one of the very top wineries and wines in general, but all of theirs are all about 93, 95 normally. So even if this one is less famous, that is also a surprise. Probably the reason why it's less expensive compared to the others, because it's less prestigious vineyard. That amphitheater shape, southwest facing, so more exposure to the afternoon sun. Then it's covered, the amphitheater is covered from the winds from the north, so that helps so to reach a good maturity. It's better on the palate at the moment. The nose is still closed, so we will see more in the tomorrow tasting. Here we are, 24 hours after almost. The wine changed very slowly, but a lot. Already yesterday night, and let's see now. The first thing that I can remark, finesse. Extreme finesse. As I mentioned before, is one of the characteristics, but I was quite surprised of the level of finesse here. Nothing rustic, zero completely. So from the herbal, it moved more to earthy, touch of mushroom, and some balsamic a bit, and kept changing slowly. Let's see how it's now. Now is more onto the classics, indeed. Now we have some leather, hint of tar, I guess. So really huge elegance and changing slowly. So this is the kind of wine that you need to drink really in 2 days. That is the perfection. Not to drink in few hours. You cannot see the evolution that way. So very refined and never too intense, and changing slowly and giving you a lot of different notes. So even the complexity is good. Yesterday night I was a bit in doubt about that. Even being old vines, I was expecting more complexity, but probably it really needs 24 hours, because now it's showing more of the classics in the aging of the Barolo. Still a lot of herbs, so the fruit is basically gone. There's a lot of herbs, that is the first and key component. And then some balsamic, touch of ethereal also, earthy, some mushroomy, but very delicate, so not that a bit smelly in a way you can say. But the herbal, menthol and things like that are the most predominant all over the tastings. Balance is good, but as I said, still pronounced tannic and acidic structure. Now also the palate, some leathery, some other tertiary notes more, and giving you the palate feel really long lasting. Even if it's not best vintage, still a great expression. And it's still changing. I guess I will still enjoy it even today, so even over 24 hours. Now some coffee or things like that. So a great depth of flavors and aromas, a great depth on the palate. Yeah, now showing more this herbal, this earthy also on the palate. There is just a touch of the sweet fruit of yesterday, still giving a roundness, but majority is the other thing. So impressive actually. I was expecting maybe more impact at the beginning that didn't come in the first hours, but the finesse and the length and the complexity and the evolution outstanding. I cannot say anything, even considering that it's not a top vintage, even more is well above 90s, really. You know, if you follow me, that I don't like ratings, but it's for sure one of the best Barolos I had in some time, indeed. So, great expression. I'm happy to finish this way with this kind of iconic wine. So I hope you enjoy. Like, subscribe, comment please, and salute.